1452, how are you folks? Today we are going to take a little bit of a ride, head out to a little dealer event, and look at some motorcycles. And you know what? I have to ask, if you're buying a new motorcycle, just saying hypothetical, would you buy a new one? Or would you buy a used one? So the question of the day is, should you buy a new motorcycle or should you get a used one? Now, there's a saying out there. I know that Adam Sandoval says it a lot. I'm not sure if it came from him or others, I'm sure, over the years, is buy the damn bike. But the question is, should it be a new bike or a used bike? Now, many times people have talked about this, and I've talked about it before. I don't care if you have a new bike, an old bike, a Harley, Yamaha. I don't care what you have, right? You're a fellow rider. So that doesn't matter to me. But there's advantages and disadvantages to riding a new motorcycle or a used one. And I want to talk about those because I really want your take on how you feel. Now, I will start by saying that I am one of those guys that likes new stuff and new gadgets when I can afford it. I've always been that way, specifically around trucks. When it comes to trucks, 3 years, I'm a little bored with them. I'm probably upgrading. Not the smartest thing to do in the world financially, for sure. And as you get older, you start thinking about, stopping doing that stuff because you don't want to make payments as you retire. So this isn't a money video, but the idea when you retire is to have no payments of anything, including a mortgage if you can. But let's start with the new. Because I bought my 2018 Ultra Limited Big Mama, brand spanking new. Had like 1 mile on it when I took it out for a ride. Man, I love it. I loved it. It was new at the time, the latest Milwaukee 8 motor. She's all pretty and clean, just sharp. Had all the things I wanted on it. This is a limited, so I'm like, I don't have to do anything to it. This is perfect. I'm buying it brand new. Of course, you spend thousands of dollars putting upgrades and other stuff on it, but that's a whole different video, right? So what's the advantages, at least to me? So, I think having a new motor, and I've had no problems with my Milwaukee 8. And having a new bike. There's something about getting a new bike or even a new car, right? I guess it depends on what you use it for. But if you get a new car or a new truck, for me, or a new motorcycle, it's pretty cool, right? I think the other advantage to that is that, normally you have warranties with it. But I will tell you, from a new perspective to me, the cool things is you got the latest and greatest. You got a new bike. Nobody's done anything to it. It's just your hands that are going to be on it. There's so many advantages to having a new bike, warranty. But honestly, just getting something new is cool. And by the way, did I mention when you do a stage 1 upgrade and put a straight pipe on it, it's pretty sweet. So let's talk about used. Now, if you follow my channel, you know that I have a 2000 Road King that I bought last year. By the way, it's a beautiful day in Michigan, a little chilly. And I am in love with that bike. And, so many advantages to buying a used bike. I got the bike at the end of the day for about $4,000. I did some trading with a quad for it and a little cash, but at the end of the day, that's what it ended up to be. So that is really affordable. Now, everybody can't afford a new bike. I mean, I can't afford a new bike right now. I bought a 2018, and then I got the 2000. But, having an older bike and buying a used bike not only saves money, and normally you're going to be paying for it cash, normally. I guess that's not always the case, which is always better for you financially. I think I've had that a couple times in, right? New, bad, loans, bad, cash, good. But, it also lets you have some more money to do something else to the bike, or take a vacation with your family and your kids, or whatever, right? Whatever you want to do with that extra money. And, it also lets you get something older. Now, I wasn't riding in 2000 to be able to buy this bike new, and I always wanted an old-style Road King. It's a Road King Classic, white walls and all that. Picture of it right here. And, it's just an advantage to get what I want, and, quite frankly, to have a lot of choices. And I get you can do that when it's new, you can order it and all that stuff, but tell you what, you can get a motorcycle, and you can tell I don't know my way around this park, can't you? We'll never get out of here, folks. We are going to have like a 5-hour video. Boating gets lost in Metro Park in Michigan. But you get so many options with it. Now, the advantages are obviously the money. You can choose what kind of bike that you ultimately want. You can get an older bike that you couldn't get, or maybe that you didn't get new. You can buy a vintage bike if you want. I mean, so many advantages. It's like Big Mama here, right? Big Mama I bought new, so she cost a lot of money. So you're going to keep her for a long time, and I plan on keeping her forever. I got 2 bikes. I'm fortunate. I'm going to do that. But, you buy a used bike, you can get out of that in a couple years if you want to, because you probably didn't put a whole lot of money into it. Though $4,000 is a lot of money. Or at that point, you could trade up to a newer bike, or a bigger bike, or one that's not as old. So many things that you could do if you first started, or if you bought a used bike. Now, I would tell you, if you're new to biking, I would encourage you to buy a used bike first. Just make sure it's really what you want before you go to a dealership somewhere and plop down 20 or 30 or 40 grand on a motorcycle. Make sure that you really like it, and that motorcycle riding is really what you want to do. And you only really truly find that out when you get on the road a lot. And when you get out here, you'll be good. You'll be like, I'm glad I did this. My first bike when I started riding again, now 5 or 6 years ago, was a Suzuki C50, I believe. I bought the bike used and had it for a month before I traded it in. So maybe you shouldn't follow my advice, because it ended up costing me about a $600 mistake. But still, it confirmed with me that this is what I wanted to do and get back into motorcycle riding. And so all good stuff. Now, the challenge is it's an older bike. And again, the advantage is a newer bike. You're not going to have as many breakdowns. Maintenance is going to be roughly the same, maybe a little bit more, whether you do it yourself or get it done by somebody else. But you are going to have some repair cost, if you will, in the motorcycle if it's older, right? So, as an example, if you buy a brand new house, you should probably have less problems, right? It's kind of the best of both worlds. Getting a used bike, unless you got that itch that you just can't let go of. I've said for a couple years I am not trading in this bike, but I'm not going to kid you. There was part of me while I was at a dealer or at the dealership. They said, "Hey, what's my bike worth?" But I snapped out of that quickly because I'm not going to get another bike because I love this one and love what I've done with it. So it's really just something to think about. I mean, I think it's an individual decision based on your finance, based on what's important to you, and whether it's a brand new bike or it's a used bike, you're out on the road, and hey, that's all that matters, is that you're out here, and for those of you that ride, What a great, great, great feeling this is to ride. Well, let's go in and take a look. And I promised myself I'm not leaving here with a new bike. Well, that is Motorcity Harley Davidson in Farmington, Michigan. Nice little event they had today. And went in there and looked at some new bikes. Looked at some used ones. And they had a little band in there, which was kind of nice. A little bit of food. With driver safety training. I forgot what they call that. It's going to be right here. You should do that. I did that years ago. And I'll show you a little bit of inside of Motorcity Harley Davidson. Gonna have to play that to a little of my music because they had a band going on in there, so don't want any copyright issues. So take a peek. New or used? Guess it really just matters on your situation, what's important to you, and really what somebody can afford. Hope that helps a little bit. I would love for you folks to give me your thoughts. Should you buy used? Should you buy new? And what do you see as the pros and cons of both? And hope you are able to get out and ride where you are in a place that's as beautiful as this today. And make sure that you are safe on and off the motorcycle. Check on a friend. I gotta go.